Hey everyone, happy St. Patrick's Day. We have a special St. Patrick's Day review today, and we're actually going to review not just one of my favorite Irish whiskeys, but one of my favorite whiskeys. We're going to review Jameson Black Barrel. Now, it's been a long time since I've had this, and since then, certainly my taste in proof has certainly gone up from this 80 proof whiskey. But I never felt that this drank like your typical 80 proof whiskey. There's a lot of depth of flavor, a lot of character in the taste, and there's several reasons for this. A lot has to do with the barrel. This is actually, just for starters, this box, believe it or not, is actually from Christmas time. And if you recall, I've done videos on this. And in a lot of the liquor stores at Christmas time, they have these gift packs. Well, I bought this at that time, and it was actually right after it, and they were getting rid of stuff. And this was a great deal. I mean, basically, this whole thing was actually less than the same bottle that was sitting on the shelf. So, of course, I grabbed it. It has these nice 2 glasses that we're going to use. But there's a lot with this, and there's a lot that separates this from the base Jameson, which we're going to separately, compare. But basically, there's a few facts I'm going to throw out with this because there's a lot actually to know about this. It's from the distillery, Midleton Distillers in Ireland. It's a blended Irish whiskey, 80 proof. It's triple distilled, and the key here that makes this gives it its namesake is it uses double charred barrels. I believe the aging is up to 16 years, but it's double charred barrels. So this, just like, in terms of a bourbon, it has to be in new charred oak barrels. This is what we would call this probably heavily charred. It's double charred. So there's going to be a lot of character that is going to be imparted from the barrel into the whiskey in this for sure. And that's certainly what gives it its name and gives it its flavor. And what it is so it's a triple distilled blend of small batch grain and single pot Irish whiskeys. And from what I understand, it's a higher amount of single pot whiskey blended with the small batch grain whiskey that gives it some of this intense flavor. And just for some facts here that I just noted down, it's a blend of small batch grain whiskey that's distilled at the Midleton Distillery and matured in heavily charred ex-bourbon barrels. So you have charred barrels, and you're also using what they call first fill bourbon barrels, meaning it's not a new barrel, but it's the first time it's being filled with something else other than bourbon. So it aged bourbon before. So they're charred. These are heavily charred barrels, and they're ex-bourbon barrels. So that is mixed with also a malted and unmalted barley pot still whiskey aged in sherry casks. So you have a little bit of that. So you have some sherry casks. You have some heavily charred ex-bourbon barrels, and the key thing is that they are double charred. And actually on this box here, there's a lot here. It says Jameson Black Barrel, matured in select charred barrels, touched by fire for a rich, smooth taste. This adds unique richness with intense vanilla sweetness, pot still spiciness, and nutty notes. So there is a lot to do here, and I feel this, and I know that since I've had this, I did recently taste the Redbreast, and I've heard so many things about it, and it was really good. Now, I don't have any more of that, so I can't put these head-to-head. I do recall that, and I know that this is, in my view, way above the regular Jameson. I'm not sure how this would stack up as far as the Redbreast, but it's recent enough that I probably can recall when I tried this. But I've just always really enjoyed this. I think this just drinks so smooth with so much flavor. So it's been a while. We're going to get this in a glass, and we are going to taste it. And before we crack this open, look at this nice Jameson Black Barrel glass. There's 2 of them, and you got the J at the bottom. I'm probably going to use a regular Glencairn just for the tasting. I can properly nose it, but I may make an old-fashioned and other cocktails with this after. But I think this is like very, very, very nice and cool. And also one small note, the front of the bottle, the back of the bottle actually continues what I was saying before. It says Jameson Black Barrel, a tribute to the legacy of charring barrels before filling them. Our coopers call it bringing the wood back to life. Black Barrel features charred and double charred bourbon barrels that deliver unique spiciness, vanilla sweetness, and nutty notes. Let's crack this open. Okay, we got it in the glass. That was a good cork pop, no doubt about it. And also note the color on this, sort of like medium. Not as light as maybe something else that did not have that same influence of barrel and ex-bourbon barrels, but there's just a lot. So there are some similarities with this, not necessarily with bourbon exactly, but just the fact that it's using ex-bourbon barrels, parting some of that flavor, using the charred barrels. Obviously, these are not new American oak charred barrels. These are just charred barrels, and they are heavily charred barrels, and most of them are double charred. So this is definitely going to be some flavor from that. And just one extra thing, it is impressive that this one does have a cork. I'm pretty sure that the basic Jameson does not. I know it certainly does not on this mini one here, and I don't think it does on the regular one. So let's get right into the nose. Right away, I get a very floral type nose. It's not that I'm not detecting any heavy char on the nose or anything like that. I'm expecting that more on the taste. Just basically a floral nose. Let's give this a taste. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Cheers. You do taste a lot of flavor on this. I mean, I get, there is almost some spice imparted in it. This is an 80 proof whiskey, but I don't think it drinks that way. I think it drinks more potent than that. It doesn't taste like bland or anything like that. I'm not saying it's tasting like 125, but it definitely has flavor. I do get some similar type of tasting notes as in a bourbon, but not in the same way. I do get definitely some vanilla and caramel. It's a little different. I don't want to call it. It's not peat the same way you would have in a Scotch, but again, it doesn't drink exactly like a bourbon. But you definitely get some of those similar taste notes: vanilla, caramel, maybe some toffee. It's definitely a nice pour. And again, I've gotten really had many 80 proofs. I think this has a lot of flavor for an 80 proof. I think this is actually very good. So what I'm going to do right now, just really quick, I'm going to use our old friend regular Jameson the same way I did with the Redbreast. Put it right next to it, and I want to taste them side by side. Before I put these head to head, two quick comments. While I do like this Jameson Black Barrel, and I always remember liking it, I think now versus when I had it the last few times, I think I may like this a little less, simply because even though it does drink, with a lot of robustness for an 80 proof, I'm still used to, higher proof whiskeys and different types of bourbon flavors, and certainly more robust between rye and proof. So I like it. I think I liked it more before, but I still like it very much. Secondly, just in my mind, I do think the Redbreast 12-year that I had, courtesy of Bourbon Barry, I think that I did like that in the way I remember it. I think I like that a little better, but I still like this a lot. It's just amazing how, your taste changes over time. But the Redbreast was way better than this, and I think this will be too. So let's taste them head to head. Okay, we'll do this head to head. This is the regular Jameson. Not much of a nose there. Cheers. And then this one, the Black Barrel. Cheers. Okay, but right away, the Jameson Black Barrel has a lot more flavor. This is, I don't want to call it flatter, but it definitely does not have the same taste. We'll do this one more time. Yeah. There's definitely more robust flavor. There's more of the vanillas, the caramels, toffee, all that stuff in there. Definitely more in the Black Barrel than in the regular Jameson. I feel like I'm taking that on the regular Jameson. I'm using this as the guinea pig, but no doubt this is better. I do think in my head, thinking of the Redbreast, I think that I probably would like to put them head to head. That probably was better, but I still enjoy this one, and I'm definitely going to enjoy this bottle. So thanks everyone for watching. I may try to make an old fashioned with this too. That might be interesting, but have a very happy St. Patrick's Day. Thanks for watching. Take care.